Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Because some of them
So,
might have the
I
notion that they're being yeah,
Mm,
not looking at race. You know, that whole argument. We don't look at race, so we treat everybody the same way. That might be well
mhm.
and good, but if you're impacted differently by something, then you want it to be addressed earlier, as per the new protocols for dealing with this
Right.
issue.
good. So I'm just, whether you're watching live or on the replay, I've purposely put up some stats here and I've left them on the screen. So 76% of Black men are more likely to get prostate cancer compared to non-Black men. Again, Black men 2.2 times more likely to die from it. And if
Mhm.
detected late, the survival rate drops to 30% at 5 years. But if detected early, the 10-year survival rate is almost 100%. I'm going to leave that screen up for a bit so people don't make excuses. It's right there in front of your face.
Mhm.
So if you're running from it, that's your thing. Be on the
Right.
offensive.
Yeah.
Anthony, I
You know,
want to
I would
ask.
say, yeah,
Go
sure.
ahead. No,
Now,
go
I
ahead,
was just going to
Anthony.
say that with respect to the 100% survival, you know, when you look at the men in the Walnut Foundation, many of us have been impacted,
Mm,
and we are still here 10, 15, 20 years plus later. So,
right. Right.
you know, the conversation should also be a conversation about hope, you know, because there's life after diagnosis, you know,
Absolutely.
and or or conference tomorrow is on survivorship, and it's an attempt to
Mm.
deal with this issue, right? There is hope after a diagnosis. There are, you know, things that you could do to help you along the way, um, after a diagnosis. Because one of the challenges with being treated for prostate cancer is that it can lead to varying degrees of incontinence, or erectile dysfunction, right?
Hmm.
Um, um, and then, of course, you have the
Okay. Right.
issue of
Right.
things impacting your sexuality, your machismo, which ultimately impacts your relationships with your partners. Okay. So this conference is really geared to
Right.
providing folks with tools to deal with what happens to your body after treatment.
Let me ask, and you're a wonderful friend of the family because you segue nicely.
Thank you.
So, I was going to chat about some other things, but you mentioned about the conference. I've just shared the link out to everybody on the platform. But talk about the conference that's happening tomorrow. I'm going to put the link up on the screen, but I've also sent it out to everyone who's watching on any platform right now. So, talk about tomorrow's conference for us.
So the conference tomorrow will be dealing with um, sexual health after cancer. And we have two people speaking on that who are well qualified. Dr. Daniela Whitman, Clinical Associate Professor Emeritus at University of Michigan, and Dr. Daniel Matthew, Associate Professor, Faculty of Medicine at U of T. And he's also collaborated with us on another program that we run for prostate cancer patients that's open to the general public. It's called the True North Peer Navigation Program. We also have Dr. Stacy Loeb, who'll be talking about diet. And I heard you guys chit-chatting a bit earlier about, you know, detox and that. Well, Dr. Stacy Loeb is an expert in the field. She's African American, and she'll be bringing her pearls of wisdom to the discussions tomorrow. Then we also have Nelly Fagani, who's a pelvic health therapist, and she'll be talking about overcoming incontinence. So some of the exercises that you can do, you know, if you're treated. We also have Dr.
Yes.
Daniel Santamina, who will be talking about exercise and the role of exercise in, a healthy lifestyle. We also have some comments from our sponsor or core sponsor for this event, Movember. The guys with the beard. So they are sponsoring this conference for us. We've been working very closely with them over the years. And so, they've helped us to promote the videos, for example. And we're having, ongoing collaborations with them. So I hope you can make it out to the conference. It's online from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Excellent. And I was curious. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Dr. Beck.
You go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah. Well, Anthony, I'm not sure how much you touched on it earlier, so I apologize. But I didn't have a chance to meet Dr. Isaac in person, but we had exchanged emails. And it wasn't until actually attending his funeral, hearing about the vast impact that he's had in this space. Two questions. One, could you give us a bit more background on the work that Dr. Isaac was doing and why this is so important? But also, are you seeing many other persons of African and Caribbean heritage studying this area, or should there be more of us actually studying it and being involved?
Dr. Isaac, he was the one that got me involved in this space. A very nurturing, encouraging, type of person. Excellent leader. So he basically set the table for us to continue this work. In terms of, getting the charitable status, making the connections with the researchers, the teaching hospitals, that whole process, so that when he passed, and he passed not because of prostate cancer actually, but because of something else. But when he passed, it made it easier for us to pick up the pieces and to carry on. So this, it speaks to the importance of leadership, and sharing and nurturing and looking at succession planning and this type of issue. Because, the one thing about a diagnosis is that, it alerts you to the fact that you're not immortal. And so we definitely have to be thinking,
yes,
we definitely have to be thinking about who replaces us, how do we institutionalize some of these things? One of the things that we're trying to institutionalize is, like a lot of the men that we speak to, they say to us, well, can you refer me to a Black doctor, Black this?
Right.
In urology, that's a huge problem. I think we only have one person in the whole GTA who's Black, who practices in that field.
Wow.
So one of the things that we did from the funds we raised last year was to set up an endowment at U of T Medical School to help nurture and bring, more of us into the space. All right. So that's one. We're also looking at funding the TMU, the Toronto Metropolitan University, the former Ryerson, Dr. Isaac's alma mater. Right?
Yes.
So when they come to Brampton, they're looking to set up a medical school. So we're looking to do the same kind of thing with them, to start nurturing that next generation of medical professionals and give them some, insight into sort of what's happening in the community while they're in their training process.
It makes sense. Yes, yes.
So a few questions here now, and you mentioned about succession planning for your organization, because I believe every success needs a successor. Is your organization in the action mode about doing succession planning?
Glad you asked that, actually, Ed. We're going through a strategic plan right now. Part of the reason why I'm president is Ken Noel, who used to be president, has shifted over to the role of executive director, right? Um, just this summer, we hired 3 students, hoping to do the same thing. Because as you grow, the demands increase, you know. So, and we are involved and engaged on different fronts. So we're looking for people to help us with research, fundraising, this kind of outreach, to go to community health fairs and do presentations, to look at surveys when we're approached for comment, so we can put our spin or input into the output that comes out of some of these things. It's very important that we as a community engage with the system. So yeah, there are problems.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say they're not problems, but we also have to be at the table to help craft solutions.
So true.
And so that's where an organization like ours comes in. That's why it's important for a show like yours to help educate, inform, and encourage engagement.
Okay, want to build on that. You probably know, then Ryan and myself know, there are a number of Black men's organizations out there. Has your organization made any attempts to engage with them? And you can be honest if you have, what the result has been, because I know a number of these organizations, and I'm wondering if they have the foresight to realize that this is something that's important to them, because a lot of these Black men, a lot of these Black men that attend their events or attend their meetings are going to get to 40 plus.
Correct.
So I just wanting to know, have you engaged with any? Yeah, have any of you have you done any engagement, and what has been the response?
So at the first level of engagement would be the churches. So a lot of the churches have a Black men's ministry of some sort, and so we've been engaging with them. So we go out, do presentations for them. Some of them have actually walked with us in our walkathon. So that's one. There's Brothers Who Care. We've reached out to them. They're doing an event on the 4th of November.
Yeah,
we'll be participating in that.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. There's the Lions Circle. We've reached out to them as well. I think we have a presentation coming up with them shortly. And even back when Dr. Isaac was involved, they used to come out to some of our activities. So the idea is to engage men in different spaces, or men wherever they are. And they don't have to be in the GTA, by the way, guys.
Right.
So we'll go to Montreal, Nova Scotia. We'll go on Wagwan, out west, right? We'll talk to people in Trinidad. We've done screening in St. Kitts.
Nice.
Presentations with urologists from the Caribbean, because they're well versed. They're seeing different versions of it. So we're engaging with Black men in different spaces. Right. But as you know, it's a process, right?
Yep.
It's a process. And they have their own interests as well. But they've been very receptive. We're also reaching out to the union movement. So wherever the men are or can be, we're trying to reach out to them.
All right. It's interesting. We may need to, if you want to chat offline, there's at least 3 organizations off the top of my alleged head that I would suggest, at least 2 of them are in Toronto based, that I would suggest you may want to reach out to. And I think also another gentleman that I would maybe suggest to you, if you want his contact information, is a gentleman who comes on, and you were in the green room when we started. Every first Friday of each month, we have Wayne Harris, who's a financial advisor. And he was the first person I knew directly that was impacted by prostate cancer more than 20 plus years ago. And I would maybe suggest maybe having, it's too late for this conference, but maybe having him come in and talk about things like having life insurance and things in place
I think he and I had a conversation before.
Yeah, I just make that suggestion. I make suggestions up. It's up to people what they want to do. Just so catching up on some quick comments.
Yes.
Welcome, Tim Frey in the house. Hope you're good. Fitness IQ Cam says, talk to the girlfriends and wives. They will knock some sense into them.
All right.
So important. So important.
And she says respectfully, and that brings up a very good point. How, like, you do your reach out, but do men come? How are Black men finding out about your organization?
You know, a lot of them are actually finding out through the women, through their partners, their mothers, grandmothers, sisters, like that. The partners, folks, the partners play a key role in this effort. If we want to change that 76% more likely to be diagnosed, twice as likely to die, metrics, if you want to change that, we have to include the partners. And the partners have been with us every step of the way. Very often it's the partners or the family members that reach out to us to say, hey, this is going on. And I bet you at the conference tomorrow, there'll be a lot of women there taking notes.
Of course. Yeah. Yep.
So very important. The family and the partners in particular, it cannot be, overstated.
So Fitness IQ Cam says, see you there.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I'm just catching up. Sorry, I didn't get to this comment earlier, Ray. My apologies. Ray McMillan, our Monday sponsor, says, good morning, everyone. Insightful conversation. Apart from medical screening, or if it's missed, what are some of the physical symptomatic changes in our bodies we should take note of, or are there any?
One of the challenges with diagnosing prostate cancer is that the symptoms initially are not really that noticeable or unique. You might have a burning sensation in the urine, right? You might have issues with frequent urination, but it's not necessarily indicative that this is prostate cancer. All right. If you start seeing blood in the urine and, in the semen, that type of thing, then the disease is probably far gone, right? Which again brings up the importance of screening, right? I felt fine, and a lot of the men that I talked to, they didn't feel any particular change or way in their body, right? They only found out that they had prostate cancer because they were screening, or because of an accidental, maybe let's do this test. This number is high, let's do a retest. The retest came back. You know what? Your digital is clean, but your blood, your PSA numbers, the trend of it doesn't seem so right. Let's refer you to a urologist to do a biopsy. That is only after the biopsy that you can determine if you have prostate cancer. So if you're waiting around for the symptoms, it might be too late.
Right.
That's why these kind of conversations are so critical, right? The screening piece, the digital exam, because if from the digital exam, they'll be able to check the circumference of the prostate to see if there's any abnormalities there. If there is abnormalities like growth, rough edges, then they might do some further investigation. So the screening is critical.
Wow, this is very good information. It's maybe indirectly related. I know your organization doesn't focus on this, but what about the importance of Black men in colonoscopies?
Well, that's a different topic, but also important.
Yeah.
Right. And so the screening again is important. Now, one of the things with colonoscopy is it's covered by OHIP. Okay. For prostate cancer screening, the PSA test is not covered by OHIP.
How just want to ask, how much does it cost to get done?
Costs about $40 to get done. Right. Now, I should preface that comment about not being covered, because if you have a family history of prostate cancer like myself, then your PSA should be covered, because your doctor can simply check off the box on the requisition form, so you don't have to pay. So if your family history, or if you're Black from a high risk group like we are, many of us are from Caribbean or West Africa, then they'll check off the box so you get it done for free. Right? A part of our work with the Walnut Foundation is to do advocacy, to encourage the provincial government to fully fund the PSA tests, just like they do for colonoscopies and mammograms and all these other things. Why not us? I suspect though that because us men don't want to talk, don't make any noise, then we get ignored. Right? So if you want that to change, if we want that to change, then we have to do something about it.
Again, it leads back to what I said near the beginning of our conversation: being on the offensive, not the defensive.
Correct. So important to engage, to be aware, to strategize, to find allies in different spaces in the system, who are willing to work with us.
Want to shout out Dr. Tachi, host and producer of Mediascope, the livest online show about media, tech, and pop culture that's on 5 p.m. Wednesdays Eastern Time and 6 p.m. on Wednesdays on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, and other platforms. And the head chief of Indie Soup Media. And they are showing a lot of premieres on their platform this weekend. That means the live launch or the beta launch is getting closer. Eunice says, case in point, the JCA Women's Center had their annual health and wellness symposium, and Anthony was one of the presenters. Almost all the attendees were women.
Yeah. Yes, I remember that. That was last Saturday. Excellent conversations. And again, thank you guys for inviting us to speak.
Yeah. Wow. Ryan, any questions or comments? I have a million of them,
but
you're just taking it.
I was curious around what to expect. So as a man, we hear you on the show. We might see some of the ads that talk about screenings. What should we expect when we now go to our doctor and we start this conversation? Like, what's the questions that we should be asking? Or is it just as simple as walking in and saying, I would like a screening for prostate cancer? Walk us through what to expect.
Yeah. So you can go in and you can explain that, you've been attending some events like these and you're hearing about it, and have a conversation with them. You talk about, the higher incidences. You talk about the recommendation that we start screening earlier, and, get their input, have that conversation. Right. Some doctors don't think it's necessary, that it leads to,
and that's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, that it leads to
not
treatment. Yep. We had a case recently where the doctor said to the young man, "You're 48, wait 2 more years." Right? But the accepted recommendation is for us to start at 40. So why is he or she telling his patient that? All right. But again, you want to engage in these kind of conversations to get their perspective. One of the concerns with some of the doctors is that more screening leads to finding more problem, creates more anxiety, and so you have a situation where your men are overtreated. My take on that, though, would be to say, you don't make the decision yourself. Have the conversation with the patient. Let the patient make that decision. Right? We're talking about shared decision making, right? So why are you taking it up on yourself? My dad's doctor was one of those. Right? He didn't believe the PSA test. He thought the PSA test proved nothing.
Wow.
Okay. He didn't factor my dad's ethnicity into his thinking.
Wow.
Okay. And the result is somebody who was proactive, like I mentioned at the top, who went to the doctor, who followed whatever recommendations were made, his cancer wasn't caught until he was stage 4. Right. Can you imagine how devastating that was for our family? This is not a guy who wasn't getting checked, and yet this is what happened to him. So we need to be engaged with our own health.
So this brings up, and thank you for sharing some of the personal journey. This though brings about an age-old conversation piece: Blacks' lack of trust of the medical system.
Yeah. That is a part of the issue as well. And that's why some of us don't make the effort to get a family doctor. I know it's challenging. And if I say this, people will say, well, I don't have a doctor, can't find one, I've been trying. But, don't give up. Get yourself a family physician. Get yourselves checked. Okay. Engage with organizations like ours. If you have a problem paying the $40 as a Black man, you join the Walnut Foundation for $10 a year. We'll cover your PSA test for $40.
Bang. There you go.
Okay. I've gone out. We made the offer so often. We don't get anybody taking us up on it. A few. Right? So it kind of makes you wonder.
Exactly.
What's going on? We're seeing guys in their 50s never had a PSA test. Most of the guys that we engage with are guys who are further along in their journey.
Yep.
Right? One of the things that was encouraging about the screening, though, was that we had a number of younger Black men who showed up for that screening at Taibu.
That's what I heard.
Right? And what it says is that men, especially the younger ones, are beginning to get a little bit more engaged. Right? We want to encourage more engagement. We want our men to be more proactive about their health. Right? Because if you can catch this thing early enough, you stand a fighting chance.
Well, one of the things I say on a regular basis these days is your health is your wealth, right? So if you take care of your health, you have more opportunity to get wealth. If you don't take care of your health, you're going to have to pay out of your wealth to continue your health.
Yep.
And I was curious I was joking with my dad saying, because he got gout in his foot. And I was saying to him, listen, you have to stop getting sick because anything that happens to you is going to happen to me. So talking about that kind of health patterns of
no guilt trip on dad there. No guilt trip.
When we talk about our genes, right? I'm watching him. I'm watching him to see what's happening to him because hey, 30 years from now, it's gonna hit me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that conversation with our parents and finding out like our
Yeah.
family health
You know,
history.
you know,
was
Ryan,
unfortunately-
I'm glad you brought that up. You know, when I was diagnosed, somebody said to me, you know, Anthony, yes, you have a strong family history, but you know, your dad's cancer is not your cancer.
Okay.
And this kind of evolved this way for me personally. Now, he was caught stage 4, you know, and he passed. With myself, because I was screening, my cancer was caught at age 53.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in my case, my cancer, the way it manifests itself is I'm in one of those, what they call a low risk, you know, pool. So my Gleason score was only a 6. My digital exam was clean. And so because my PSA was not inordinately high, I was recommended to go on a path of no treatment. So I'm on active, what we call active surveillance. And I've been doing that now for 8 years.
Gotcha.
Right? Now, for some of us, the cancer stays the same. It never goes anywhere. You actually die from something else, like Dr. Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
Or for some of us, we might have to progress the treatment later on. The thinking is that if you don't have to deal with the side effects of treatment and your cancer is indolent, then leave it alone. Right? And so for me, mine has been left alone. Now, things could change at any point where I have to progress the treatment, and I'm fully prepared to do that. Right? But the point is that, you know, your father's history doesn't have to be your history, you know. And hopefully some of the things that Dr. Loeb will talk about tomorrow with respect to diet, and some of the things that Dr. Santamina will talk about with respect to exercise might help folks, you know, along those lines, you know. Some of the diet stuff, the research is ongoing, right? But, you know, the indications from everything that they're seeing is that some of these strategies are very important in terms of how you deal with disease, how you experience disease onset, right? And these are important things to know, right? And so what we're trying to do tomorrow is to bring information to folks that's credible, that's well researched, you know, that you can actually hang your hats on, right? These are not fables or myths that we'll be talking about tomorrow. So we're trying to be as real as possible.
You are doing it. Don't say this try thing. You're doing it.
Right. I know. I've been doing it. Yes.
Yeah, you've been doing it for
Let me
a long
correct.
time.
We want to keep it as real as possible.
Anthony, I know we went a little bit past the top hour. There's a few questions. Do you have a few moments to answer some questions from the audience? Okay, thank you so much. So a few things here. Opal Inspired says, good morning, great conversation. Are there any preventative measures known?
So I think I kind of addressed that in my previous comments.
Okay, so yeah, if you watch the replay, we covered that a little bit earlier. Fitness IQ Cam goes, isn't gout, aka rich man's curse, LOL.
I don't know. I've never heard that, so possibly yes.
All right. Eunice has a question. Are there any plans to roll out PSA screening in communities across the Greater Toronto area?
Yes, for sure. I mean, you know, we were really encouraged by that first one, and we're engaged right now with partners looking to bring, you know, the clinic to different locations throughout the GTA.
Okay. Where would this organization be without your partners?
I tell you, the partners have been just awesome. My spouse, my sisters. I mean, the core of the Walnut Foundation is really the men who've been impacted by prostate cancer and their families, right? And for most of our existence, that has been what has sustained us, because we don't have core funding, for example, right? So our partners or families have been the core. We're just now branching out. Last year we've made outreach to like the JCA by having Roy Williams be involved as a keynote, as a the face of our walkathon for last year. This year we brought in Ivan Don from the IUPAT, the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades. And so we're doing a lot of outreach now, ramping up our connections with our different partners in the healthcare space, to try to bring more, consistency to the work that we're doing.
Okay. Question here from Ray. We know Oriental doctors are familiar with sickle cell. Are there doctors from other ethnicities that are made aptly familiar with the impact of prostate cancer on Black men than others?
Not sure about ethnicity per se, but there are allies that we deal with in the various, teaching hospitals at Sunnybrook, Princess Margaret, for example, Women's College Hospital, that we engage with, who are, very knowledgeable, understand the issues, understand the perspectives and interests of the Black community, and they're always willing and ready to come and speak to our group. So we really appreciate, the support we've gotten from all these folks.
Excellent.
In fact,
right.
With a lot of our research projects, we're partnering with medical doctors who are interested in this issue.
Good stuff. And also want to shout out all the corporate partners that you have, not only the family and friends partners, but you go on their website, they have a number of relationships with a lot of organizations, not for profit, and also, corporate partners. And I'm speaking, that's only going to grow because this needs to be addressed. Ryan, do you have any final comments for Anthony? Because I know he's always got a lot of things to do.
Right. And it's more just looking forward to the conference tomorrow. And again, hoping that we can help spread the word for long-term engagement with what you do. And like you said, getting more of the young men to engage as well, because that turnover is going to happen. And so we want to make sure that we're ready, especially when Dr. Vibe was talking about succession planning.
For sure. I really appreciate coming on the show, talking to both of you, and having you be involved in the conversation around prostate cancer. We are all in this together.
Absolutely.
And, in a real sense.
Very real sense.
And so it's important that we engage like this and we normalize, the screening, the digital exam, doing the biopsies, ending the silence. It's so important,
Okay.
But thank you for having
me. Our pleasure. Ray says, thanks for your answer. The clarity is important. Eunice says, great conversation. So it's been a really good conversation today. There's the link for tomorrow's conference. I'm going to jump in for a little bit and enjoy it, get some education, because some people are saying, Dr. Vibe, you have influence. I go, do I? I'm just a brown piece of mud that has a shiny head. I don't know what else I do, but and website
Don't
information.
downplay your importance, my friend. I think
I know I
Exactly.
got value. I know I got value. I know I got value. Here's the website information for not the Walnut, for not myself. That's later. The Walnut Foundation. There's a website, thewalnutfoundation.com. Email address info at the Walnut Foundation, Instagram at the Walnut Foundation, Facebook the Walnut. So just Google or whatever search engine, just put in the Walnut Foundation. That'll take you where you need to be. All right. So as always, we would like to say to all our friends that come on, remember to give yourself grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. And Anthony, let's stay more in contact, please, if you have the time.
For sure. Anytime.
All right. Remember to give
anytime.
yourselves grace. Have a great day and best wishes for tomorrow's epic event.
Thank you. Appreciate the plug.
No
Yes,
problem.
yes.
All right. We are back, Mr. Knight.
Excellent.
So thanks for
You.
thanks for being able to jump in today, man. I was wondering, did the walk get the best of you? Were enjoying too much of the warm weather?
Right, the wet weather, but
Is it? Oh yes,
I
but
actually
yeah,
it's still close to mid-teens, 20s. It's not bad out there, so I'll take it. And I think it's only a couple more
Absolutely.
days that it's lasting.
yeah, it's gonna start.
Yes.
So Eunice, I love. Thank you for the encouragement, Eunice. That shiny head has lots of
Exactly.
value. LOL. Receive that. So what's up for the weekend, Ryan?
Yeah, multiple things. I'm gonna tune into the Walnut Foundation conference, and then in the evening there's the Help a Girl Out gala that Yannick was talking
Yes.
about on our Monday show. And find some time in the middle for family time. The kiddos want to go to the movies, so it'll be a
Alright.
packed Saturday, and Sunday
Yeah.
a bit more chill. How about yourself?
So a few things. This has been like Black Health Week. So at the beginning of the week, we talked about young Black
True, yeah.
girls, and we ended off with
Yes.
Black men at the end. So a few things. I actually had a conversation with Yannick, and there is 3 people from my constellation that want to speak with her. One of them actually was one of the industry panelists during the brand sponsorship event.
Okay, solid.
And so she'd love to provide suggestions and anything she can do to help amplify what Yannick is doing. So that's been great. It was really good. But yeah, this is a great conversation today. So yeah, this weekend for me, well, I got enough conversations to do coming up. So just catch up on things. So live tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time on Dr. Vibe platform, State of Things with Aisha, Jill, and Lala. Sunday, Black Canada Talking with myself and Cesar, Nadima Musa. You met Cesar on Sunday, correct?
Yes, that was excellent. And again, tell him my thanks. I'll be tuning into the show just to hear the comments. But yeah, it was great getting to meet him and hear his insights as we talked about the Canadian Black think tank conversations. It was excellent.
Yeah, I actually had a chance to meet him on his way home. So we got together and finally had a chance. I hadn't met him in 3.5, 4 years. So then on
gotcha.
And then Monday, David Archer is back.
I'm looking forwad to this conversation. Or actually,
Yeah, so
50-50.
So for people who are still on or watching live on the replay before Monday, we're going to do a live scenario of David and Ryan being a patient. So you got to check this out, family. It's going to be really interesting. So Ryan's going to be in the chair or on the couch, so to speak.
Right.
So it's going to be somewhat a scenario of going through what David, somewhat what David would go through with seeing a new client from a Black psychotherapist perspective. So that is going to be interesting. And a week from today, we've got Wayne Harris on. I didn't want to put it on. That's too far out, but Wayne Harris will be back. All right. As always, we want to thank everybody. You can watch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show. YouTube and Facebook. ACBN, Facebook and YouTube, Ryan's YouTube and LinkedIn. Ryan, how's your detox going?
I'm sitting here, bathroom's calling me, but so far it's been going good. I just moved my office closer to the washroom because the flushing, the flushing is happening.
Drink lots of water.
Yeah, but it's good, But one thing, the smell of food is so amazing when you're not eating food. Oh my goodness. And then I'm making bacon for breakfast this morning for the kids. And I'm just like, what type of torture am I doing to myself right now? I should have made them juice at the same time. No, but it's going okay. We're second day, so let's keep pushing.
Well, I'm on my second day too. This is the second time around for me. And for me, eating is a mental thing. So I haven't even thought about what I'm going to put myself to real punishment. I'm going to be making veggie burgers and chia pudding today. So I can't eat it till Sunday, but I'm making it now. So I have, but that tells you how hardcore I am making stuff while I'm on a fast. So Dr. Tachi, okay, so Fitness goes LMAO. Yes. Dr. Tachi is laughing. Don't be hard on Ryan now. And then Fitness IQ says, Ryan, you don't even know. And then that's what makes you grow for the kid.
That's what I should have. I did not thinking.
There you go. So everyone, by Monday, Ryan will be finished his first 3-day detox. I'll be through my second 3-day detox. So you know what? Oh, this is Fitness IQ going, make me porridge, Dr. Vibe. Yes, I have my quinoa porridge I'm going to be making. So I'm doing a whole bunch of food prep while I'm detoxing. Go figure, right? I can't eat it till Sunday, but that's the thing. And so, Ryan, I hope you continue it on. And you know what? Bulk Barn may become your best friend.
Okay. Yes. Definitely going to stock up on some ingredients.
Yes. And if you need any suggestions, holla, as Fitness IQ, I should prep too. Absolutely. So no problem. If either of you have questions or people want to reach out to me, I can provide some of the recipes. I'm going to provide all of them. I have to still put up them in the Morning Vibe. I'm going to put one up in the Morning Vibe Discord page, either maybe for the porridge or even making lemon vinaigrette dressing. So easy. Lemon juice, olive oil, salt, blend it. There's your dressing.
Nice.
Simple. So we're going to see y'all on Monday. Again, if you're around over the weekend with me, 9 p.m. tomorrow night with Isha, Jill, and Lala. And then Sunday afternoon, myself and Cesar. Monday morning, the James Earl Jones of Canada will be back. All right. So live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller, get stronger. Block assumptions and aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Bye.